I started a long time ago as a food engineer, and then I joined Kraft Jacob Suchard, who is now Mondelēz, about 30 years ago. And now I'm responsible for our European region. My first e-auction experience was back in 1999 or 2000, and by then I was sourcing external manufacturing, which may not be the easiest category to apply e-auction, but that's what I had. We actually had several chapters in our history. The first one was back in 2000 with this Procuri software introduction. We got training how to use it. You know, it was more a system launch. Everyone was encouraged to try, but there was no real push from management, associated to that. It was like, here is a new tool, do what you like with it. In 22, we were exiting 2 years of crisis, with COVID, with the global supply chain crisis, with the war in Ukraine. And during that time, we focused a lot on service, obviously. The S&D balance shifted towards the supplier market, and our teams almost stopped using e-auction. Then in 23, many were expecting or hoping for some downturn to happen. And in this new context, there is no quicker and more efficient way to bid than doing e-auction. Therefore, we relaunched a thorough program to train our teams again and encourage all our sourcing teams to leverage e-auction. Our previous trainings, they were quite basic. They were mostly covering English auctions. And I was not very happy with that, knowing about the other types that we were not using. So we asked Procura to develop a training covering the various types of auction, when to use which one, how to combine them together, and how to structure complex bids so that they are auctionable. We created a community of practice with our buyers from all spend areas. And they are a kind of super user or champions, the ones that other members of the team would go to for advice or help to design their e-auction. When I look at our plan, in parallel, we've been doing a number of things. We had many newcomers in the last years, and having everyone trained on negotiation, stepping up the assertiveness of the team, combined with an e-auction program was actually key. What we are doing in parallel as well is we are launching a program to revisit our sourcing strategies and systematically address what is preventing you to do an auction. We call that change the context. Remove whatever is a blocker for you to do an e-auction. Do it years before, so that whenever comes your bidding time, you are ready, you are in a position to do that. And at the same time, we are investing a lot of efforts to increase our supplier base. So onboarding new suppliers, increasing competition. So we try to create the right playground, better negotiation skills, trained on e-auction, reviewing our sourcing strategy, preparing the context well before, onboarding new suppliers so we have more players, things like that. And this is really at the sweet spot of all of that makes, I believe, our program so successful. But the program cannot just be how to use the system. Going too small, doesn't create momentum as well. So if you need everybody to embark and create a bit of a wave internally. So one can believe it's not for me, someone else will do it. While we need every buyer to experiment, not only for the outcome of it, also for their own development. So we encourage really people to experiment on that one. My thoughts actually were very basic, when we launched the program. It was to equip the team and encourage them to experiment. Equip, I mean train, encourage, etc., and then experiment. The other thought was my leadership team would be fully supporting me, right, in this journey, because they need to encourage their teams, coach them, etc. And I have to say that they have been just fabulous jumping into the program and making it happen. And then it's keeping a close dialogue between every buyer who is experimenting that, in various ways, through the various sourcing reviews, in the forums in which we discuss our bidding strategies, every team call, every community call that we have. We have a little chapter on the auction. So basically leveraging every opportunity, a bit as a broken record. The most difficult part was probably the mindset shift. When you implement the auction, actually your negotiation is shifting from during the tender or after the tender to before. So this shift, you need to negotiate before the tender and not during or after the tender. Because at the end, all the negotiation time that you are saving through an auction, you need to reinvest into developing your sourcing strategies and in creating the right environment or context for your auction to be successful. And that happens before, right? Not by the way, not days before, but months before. The surprise was about the amount of myth that are associated to e-auctions. You know, the barrier people imagine that keeps them away from trying. Failure is not a topic at Mondelēz. There was some skepticism, of course, you know, by some, but that's a bit normal. There were lots of belief as well. But when you ask, have you tried it? You know, to those who believe that maybe e-auction doesn't apply to the spend they are in charge. Have you tried it? Quite often the answer was no. And when you ask why, you know, then comes the myth, and then we can have a dialogue about it. So in the end, my ask was very simple. It's like, try, see by yourself, and then, you know, let's discuss. Because it's okay if it doesn't work in the end. You know, you can always fall back to your previous round, or you do another round of the traditional bidding. You have no risk. So if you have no risk, don't assume it's not going to work. Try, experiment. There's no risk. The other pitfall is the resistance to change. You know, it's a classic for every change. That's no difference with the auction. And this is why we need to look at it more broadly than just an auction program. And that's what we try to do at Mondelēz. What we did as well is to make it part of our broader capability program. You know, we make sure it includes the training, but also communication, community of practice, etc. And very regular encouragement to keep pushing the boundaries of why not trying this and why not doing that way. You know, in case that would not work, it's okay. All that was part of our approach. What's next for e-auction at Mondelēz? The most important one is that we actually have a tool in the toolbox that we know when to use and how to best use. And that's really key, because it's not a magic wand to do e-auction, but it's a quite powerful one when associated with the right preparation upfront. So we will increase our spend towards the auction for sure, but it's really about all the capabilities that are built around that program. My goal is actually to upgrade all our sourcing strategies, to be able to auction everywhere. Now, whether we do it or not is secondary. We will probably not auction everything, but that's a bit of a vision, auction everything. Because we should be able to auction if we want. Sometimes there are better things to do than an auction. We need to keep that freedom. But if we want to do one, we should be able to do one. So auction everything as a possibility is what we have in our goals. Our vision is to buy better than competition, and I don't believe that we can achieve our ambition without giving e-auctions a fair place in our agenda.